Thank you, Laskin Corla, and I welcome the opportunity to speak on the debate this evening. It's about a matter that is affecting more and more people as the days go by. The loss of 10,000 jobs every month is pretty stark reading for these people who are affected by the recession. And the last time the Labour Party were in power in 1997, we were creating 1,000 jobs a week. Now, the current government, it would appear to me, is asleep at the wheel. It seems to me that the government is much more concerned about the bigwigs in the bank and how they will fare out, rather than about the people who are losing their jobs on a daily basis. And that includes the small industries that have, it would appear, very little support, and there's been very little concern shown to them as far as I can see. The job losses that are happening at the moment are happening very much in dribs and drabs, one here, two there, and so on. Small industries, you know, the local laundrette and the bakery and so on, 2 or 3 people losing their jobs. They don't make the headlines, and they're not headline news, except, of course, for those people who lose their jobs. And they're headlines for them when they have to put bread on the table and pay the mortgage, or they're in fear of their house being repossessed. In my local social welfare offices, and I've looked at 3 that impact on my own constituency, the following changes have occurred since May 2007. In Thomas Street, the increase in the live register is 790, in Ballyfermot 612, and in Bishop Square it's 1,736. Now, this 3,000 plus people are indeed concerned about the bankers and the millions that they've received in payments and bonuses for a job that's been pretty badly done. Because indeed it's their mismanagement and their rather cavalier attitude that has landed these unemployed people in the mess, some of them who are about to lose their homes. I spoke before about the cavalier attitude in relation to lending by some of these mortgage providers, where a woman on a CE scheme was handed over a mortgage of €150,000. Now, anybody who knows anything about CE schemes will know that there was no commitment that she would have a job after the 3-year stint. Her home is now about to be repossessed. I think that for all of the annoyance of these people at the bankers, they are far more concerned that a solution be found to their immediate problems. They don't want to whinge about the bankers, they want something done. But instead of working to provide a solution, the former Taoiseach is acting as an advisor to the hedge fund providers who are looking to take advantage of the situation in the Irish banks. We seem to have a Minister for Enterprise who is paralysed into inactivity and has not shown any initiative in helping the small and medium-sized businesses that are losing jobs, they're hemorrhaging on a daily basis. I don't think that the government has actually recognised the true scale of the problem facing the country. In America, the key economic debate was on the disconnect between Wall Street and Main Street. Then here in Ireland, it's between Mount Street and Main Street. Everybody that I've met in my clinics and in the streets of Dublin South Central in the past while, they all seem to recognise the scale of the disaster that is facing them and the effect, you know, on small Irish businesses and on their opportunities for employment. Yesterday, I met 2 workers in my own constituency. They used to work in the construction industry. Clearly, they had been, getting very well paid. They'd been doing good jobs. They had been 30 years, each of them, in the construction industry. They're now let go. On their own initiative, they're now doing garden maintenance and cleaning windows. And, you know, they're quite obviously upset by this. But the key point that they made to me was that whatever little meagre income they're making from this, it was in their own initiative. There didn't seem to be anybody there to offer them a helping hand to set up this small business that they've now had to do off their own initiative. We talk about a deterioration in competitiveness and its effect on business, and yet the government continues to take steps, I think, to make it even more difficult for companies to trade. Gas prices have gone up. The ESB, they both secured significant price increases in September, 20% and 17.5% respectively, and yet the cost has not gone down as far as the businesses are concerned, and it's not being passed on to the consumer in any real terms. The VAT increase of 0.5% will add further to price inflation at a time when the retail sector is already forecasting one of the worst years in history. And indeed, the announcement in relation to VAT, the VAT cuts in Northern Ireland, makes Irish retailers even more uncompetitive and will only exacerbate the exodus of Irish shoppers across the border this Christmas. At a decade after the sale of Telecom, the country continues to lack a decent and affordable broadband service for business to utilise. So absolutely vital in today's business economy. Proper broadband penetration seems to me to be as far away as ever.
Please, 1 minute.
Thanks, Chairman. In certain parts of the country. So how can we expect a business to thrive when they don't actually have access to the very basic facilities? Most of these small industries are operating on a very small profit margin, and yet they're very highly regulated. Now, I have no problems with them being regulated. I think it's important, but I think the level of regulation and the cost of that to these industries is quite damaging and quite prohibitive for them. The Labour Party were calling on the government to take a number of very basic, straightforward steps to tackle the lack of credit available to companies operating in Ireland. And these common sense ideas, we ask you, Minister, should be taken on board. Do something about them immediately. Don't let them drift. On a positive note, I just want to congratulate Ireland Inc. on having got the European City of Science for Dublin in 2012. I see this as something very positive, but the one point I would make around that is we have to put in place the infrastructure to support start-up companies in science and technology if we believe in the mantra that we all repeat regularly, that science and technology is the way forward. Thank you.